What's up, everybody? My name is Godzi, and welcome back to some more Umineko When They Cry Questions Arc. Last episode, we ended in a rather bad spot. I'll admit that much, but what exactly did happen? Yes, we discovered the bodies of Kraus, Natsuhi, and George, and Nanjo also died, leaving us with just three poor unfortunate souls. And Eva Beatrice here is trying to completely fucking murder Beatrice, so that's not very nice of her, so let's continue. I'm the Endless Witch, right? Why is this old hag still alive after all this? Chester sisters, smash that heart, quickly. It's impossible, my apologies. We can't do it. Indeed, it probably will be impossible. No number of people could crush that heart. And certainly not the soldiers who serve under His Highness and the Dragon King. In that case, an endless witch like me should be able to crush it, right? My power is that of a god. I'm afraid to say that your power cannot leave a single wound on the endless of Beatrice. Just what do you mean by that? Just as there can be no light without knowledge of shadows, there can be no infinite without knowledge of the finite. Before Milady's Beatrice's true endless power, your frail magic is quite lacking. What is that? The cruel witch was surprised and stepped back. I literally could have gone another minute and a half, couldn't I? It was thinner than a lace curtain, but Beato's form, no, Beatrice's form was still standing there. Oh, hi. Even after being laid bare so tragically like this, she refused to let evil through that door. At that time, a shadow just as thin as Beatrice stood behind her. It was Cannon. Hi, Cannon. Beatrice, thank you very much. I won't forget what you've done for us. I'll hear those words of yours once the number of my blessings has surpassed the number of grievances I have caused. I'm gonna turn down the volume a little bit more because apparently my volume's too loud for the music. It's not awful, but it could stand to be lower. Was that long enough? Yes, truly, thank you very much. And Beatrice, you have also done enough. Please, be at peace. Is that so? Is this enough? What's going on? Why are you guys calling that old hag Beatrice? Beatrice is my name, right? It's got to be, since I'm the new Golden Witch and Endless Witch, right? How rude. How dare you claim Beatrice's name? I'm afraid to say that the name of Beatrice belongs to the one crowned as the Endless Witch. Right now, you're the predecessor. What did you say? Oh. Farewell, Cannon. Why is her eye there blurry, as if there's two sprites at once or something? I'm sure I'll see you soon enough. So she succeeded so, let me get this straight. Virgilia was the original Beatrice, or the oldest Beatrice we know of. Then Beatrice succeeded Virgilia and became Beatrice. But what was Beatrice's name before she was Beatrice? Whatever. Then young Eva succeeded Beatrice and became Beatrice. And then the second Beatrice, this Beatrice, blonde-haired Beatrice, succeeded Eva Beatrice, the person who succeeded her. She succeeded the person who succeeded her. Okay. In a new nightmare, in the nightmare of a new night, I will once again be your companion, Beatrice. With that, if you would excuse me. Goodbye, Cannon. Cannon's form grew faint and he disappeared into thin air. And Beatrice is gone. After watching him go, Beatrice's form also grew faint, and before disappearing, it slumped over onto the floor. Then there was a splat. The golden heart that had been floating in midair lost its sparkle, became bloodstained flesh, and fell to the ground. How frail it was. It was ragged and full of holes. But until a moment ago, it sparkled so much had continued to beat so forcefully, that heart still just barely managed to beat. However, it was only a matter of time before it stopped. Beatrice, whose form had become fragile and faint like incense smoke, lay on the floor, steadily watching her own heart. There, the cruel witch could be seen. What do you mean, endless? Aren't you actually collapsed in a heap right there? How can there be a finite infinity? That's a contradiction. It couldn't exist. This is the limit of your magic. The endless is better than the finite. Beatrice no longer even had the will to respond. No, on the contrary, it was doubtful that the words of the cruel witch even reached her ears. Seriously, how does this go in anyone's favor other than Eva Beatrice's? I'm confused here. If you're a real endless witch, try standing up. How's it going? You can't stand, can you? Why do you think you can't stand? It's because you aren't the endless witch. The cruel witch poked Beatrice's heart with her fingernail. Beatrice had no words with which to respond to that provocation. However, instead of words, she returned a single expression. It felt humiliating only to the cruel witch, because she had gently curved her mouth and smiled. Huh? Footsteps were approaching that place. There was no way she had misheard it. That rough squeaking of heels was the sound of Batware's footsteps. Oh shit! Batware's gonna fuck up Eva Beatrice, isn't he? Do it, man, do it! I'm gonna fuck up this dumb bitch who calls herself my aunt, except she doesn't. Battler, is it? Ha! After talking so tough, I ended up like this. I've been trying to become the true witch you talked about, in my own way. Yeah, I was watching. Hey, have I been able to become a witch? Have I earned the right to become your opponent? He's probably gonna say something like, no, it's Eva Beatrice, I'm gonna fuck her up. It's useless. Batware said it unbelievably bluntly. As Beatrice breathed painfully, she saw this and sneered at herself as though she should have expected it. Ha! I see. Yes, the road to becoming a true witch will be much, much longer than this. However, I will not surrender. Just like you never surrendered to my torture, I will definitely become a true witch and be accepted as your opponent. Yeah, it's useless. It's all useless. You aren't my opponent. He's gonna say Eva Beatrice is, isn't he? The cruel witch raised her foot high. Below it was Beatrice's frail heart. Die, you old hag! Let's see how endless you are when you've been crushed to a pulp. I'm the witch. I am the golden witch Beatrice. Die! I can't do those, like, hyper-extended words. Like, die! Oh, well, maybe in my regular voice I can. Ah, it's useless. It's all useless! He's gonna fuck up Eva Beatrice. Do it, Batware. Battle, Batware. Batware. Will battle. He is. Oh, God, he actually did it. What is this? Where is this? Time to fuck up Eva Beatrice, Batware. Get in your seat. Beato isn't my opponent. You are. Batware? What kind of magic is this? Who cares? It doesn't matter. Chester sisters. 45, understood. Attacking everywhere. Oh, God. 410, understood. Die, Batware. I don't think Eva Beatrice recognizes that this is a different Batware. The Chester sisters each readied their own golden bows and fired golden arrows. The two only pulled the bowstring together when using precision guidance. If they were fighting against an enemy before their eyes, they fired their bows at the same time, and their might did not suffer in the slightest. Literally... Yeah, I figured that one didn't do a damn thing, would it? What? It was deflected? There's no barrier, it was deflected by resistance alone. 45, target analysis. 45, understood. Huh? What? Did I break down? Am I insane? Yes. Anti-magic resistance power. Endless 9. Even mythical class magical attacks won't be effective against the target. Golden Bow warheads could penetrate any magical armor through reciprocal corrosion. When one tried to block them with anti-magic resistance power, even 8 digits were not sufficient to prevent their penetration. By the way, even famous gods that appear in myths rarely reach as high as 9 digits. For that reason, 9 digits were enough to measure pretty much all sensible values. Battler had buried all of those 9 digits with 9s. Damn, how foolish. When Battler gets serious, magical arrows and the like aren't enough to even make his hair tremble. The Chester sisters dropped their golden bows in shock. To Battler himself, it was as though a pair of dragonflies had flown past his shoulder. Battler's probably more excited to see those two, just being like, alright, now I can make my harem 9 instead of 7. Well, even though my parents killed 2 of them. What are you doing? Is that some kind of game? Which one's talking? Monster! Stay back, small fries. Get in your seat, fake witch. I'll tear off that mask of yours. Hey! Oh shit, he just completely denied them and destroyed them. Okay. The Chester sisters couldn't hide their fear at Battler's ferocity, and they backed up as though they'd been struck. Beatrice watched the scene in shock. Oh, hi. The Battler. What is this supposed to be? Just like you see, you aren't my opponent. She is. That imposter over there who's using your name. I'm fighting against a witch. I face off against an opponent who claims to be a witch, and I deny witches by defeating them. I've seen more than enough of your arrogance. Then Battler's eyes grew as sharp as blades as he stared down the cruel witch. What are you calling magic? What are you calling witches? You're no witch. I'll rip that mask off and tear it to shreds. Virgilia, get ready to fight. Understood. Preparations are complete, so go whenever you're ready. I thought you double died. Beatrice, stay back and rest. I guess witches just don't die, I guess? Indeed. Beata looked at Battler timidly. She still hadn't been acknowledged as his opponent. Was she qualified to watch the game board from the sidelines? Beata, stay back and watch. I'll tear it off. I'll thoroughly dismantle this fake witch. I won't let someone like this call themselves a witch. You protected the honor of true witches. You don't need to say anything. On your behalf, I'll teach her that the name of the Golden Witch definitely isn't that cheap. Battler? Literally what? Those are the general rules. Thank you, Ronave. I get most of the rules now. I see. You can't win with magic, so you came to face off with me in a world where victory is decided by something other than magic. Foolish people. Do you really think you can win against me with twisted logic? He will. He's protagonist, man, and you're antagonist, woman, so time to get fucked. Yeah, I do. I'll crush all of your twisted logic, Aunt Eva. I am not Eva. That is the name of the old shell I shed. I am a true witch, born inside of her. Don't try to trick me. Your true form isn't a witch or anything like it, but a flesh and blood human. The human culprit, Ushiromiyas Eva. Virgilia, reconstruct the second Twilight. Oh, we're actually gonna fuck up everything, aren't we? Going through the whole game? This is gonna take forever. Understood. On the second Twilight, Rosa and Maria were killed in the Rose Garden. We begin by applying the Eva culprit theory for that case. Huh? Ridiculous. Come, arise. Try to remember. What form did Ushiromiyas Hideyoshi have? What? What's this supposed to be? It's a summoning of the dead, which can easily bring even the dead up to the stand for testimony. What? Oh god! I am Hideyoshi, Beatrice! Okay. On the opposing side, a transparent Uncle Hideyoshi was summoned. Talk about convenient. He looked as though he couldn't see what was going on here, almost like a person on the other side of the TV. Witness summons. Ushiromiyas Hideyoshi's testimony. Come, Hideyoshi, speak. I was taking care of Eva in our room the whole time. Of course, Eva didn't leave the room. Aunt Eva. Around here, testimony that isn't read isn't worth crap. I demand that he repeats it again in red. Oh yeah, that's right. Sure, say it in red. I was in the room the whole time, both before and after the time of the crime. But, Eva... See? Look. This makes it impossible for Eva to be the culprit, right? How will you counter this? Ridiculous. That move's so lame I could yawn. I guess Hideyoshi can use red. Bato never used such childish tricks, not even once. It would have been really cool if she did, like, bring back dead to have testimony, read statements and stuff. Repeat it. Aunt Eva was also in the room for the entire time before and after the crime. Uncle Hideyoshi was just there to create an alibi. You made him stay in the room and stealthily snuck out. If that isn't true, this guy should be able to say so in red. I refuse to repeat it. Hideyoshi's evidence is sufficient. There's no need for me to repeat that, right? God, you suck. She has refused. You need show no mercy. This is check. Yeah, I'll take it. This opponent's slow. Check! Maybe Uncle Hideyoshi didn't leave the room the whole time, but saying he was taking care of you the whole time is a bright red lie. Therefore, no alibi exists for you. You had a chance to slip out of the room and kill Aunt Rosa and Maria. If you think you can dodge that, try proclaiming in red that Aunt Eva didn't take a step outside of her room. You can't, right? Checkmate. What the hell? I don't get it. Sorry, Aunt Eva. Even if you aren't used to the rules, beating your opponent down with all your strength is how this game is played. Right, Beato? Indeed. The witch side resigns. Let us continue on to the next game. Yeah, that was the easy one anyways. Next is the 4th through 6th Twilights. It seemed that the witch still didn't understand how to make a winning move, and she lost her composure and irritation. She was probably also angry that a shot had been taken at her while she still didn't get what was going on. However, I won't go easy on her at all. Just like she didn't go easy on the victims at all, I won't go easy on her. Virgilia, next crime. Let's reconstruct the case with Dad and the rest. Understood. 3 people, Rudolph, Kiria, and Hideyoshi, went to the mansion and were killed there. My move won't change. Aunt Eva, you are the culprit. This time, you don't even have an alibi from Uncle Hideyoshi. You claim that you were sleeping in that room all by yourself, but that's not true. If you can proclaim it in red, just try it. I refuse. So tell me, Eva's just a woman, and the people who died were 3 adults with 2 guns, right? How did she kill them all by herself? How did she do it with those stakes as weapons? Like everyone keeps asking, how is a stake shooting device constructed? Explain that. Unless you can explain it, even if Eva doesn't have an alibi, that doesn't mean it was possible for her to commit the murders. I refuse to explain. It's a devil's proof. Just because I can't explain it, that doesn't deny the existence of an unknown murder technique or maybe an unknown weapon. In short, even if I can't explain how the stake shooting device is constructed, that doesn't prove that it doesn't exist. What the hell? Does that ridiculousness even count? It does, and you're getting fucked. Your devil's proof is valid. Agreed. It's a valid devil's proof. Battler can claim that a stake shooting device exists without bearing the responsibility of explaining how it is constructed. The witch side cannot object to this move. She can say in red that it doesn't exist, but I guess it does, perhaps? Not bad. How pushy. Well, there's this ill-natured witch who trained me well. This is check, okay? Try saying in red that Aunt Eva didn't take a step out of that room. That's right, you shouldn't be able to say it. If you can't say it, it's over. Checkmate. She is fucked right now. That's so irrational. This is messed up. Those are the rules of this game. How about some black tea first? And some delicious cookies as well. I don't need all that. That pisses me off. So you felt like a coward just because you can't win with magic. Don't get irritated. Drink some black tea or something. I'll take mine straight. What about you, Beato? I am fine. More importantly, Battler, don't let your guard down. Your opponent is only unfamiliar with the rules. This will only really start once your opponent gets the gist of it. But I'll crush her. I'll thoroughly crush her, because she isn't a witch. If I accept her as a witch, all your stubbornness will count for nothing. I don't care what kind of irrational argument or twisted logic I have to use. I'll crush her with all my heart and soul. Battler's side then struck with the evil culprit theory to explain Kraus and Natsuhi, the 7th and 8th Twilights, in the exact same way. But George is when it gets really difficult, right? At the time, there had been no one on the first floor except for Eva and the victims. As before, no one could establish an alibi for Eva. Back then, Eva had claimed that they'd disappear while she went to the bathroom. But there was nothing to support that, and the witch side couldn't repeat it in red either. Using the same style of argument as that question regarding the stake shooting machine, the witch side asked once more how Eva could have strangled both of them at the same time all by herself. But of course, Batware splendidly counterattacked by refusing to explain because of the devil's proof. Yep. Under the storm and stress of Batware's spirit, the witch side was completely swallowed up, having to resign 3 times during the short period of time she had to grasp the rules. Yeah, Eva Beatrice is fucked, but she's probably gonna figure it out somehow. Yeah, I see. I'm finally starting to get the knack of it. I won't let you have things your own way anymore. This time, let me take the initiative. Runabe, reconstruct the 4th through 6th Twilights. Pick out Ushiromiyas Kyrie. For now, let me return to the murders of Rudolph, Kyrie, and Hideyoshi during the 4th through 6th Twilights. What is she thinking? Why would she return once more to a situation where she's lost? I see. This is an unusual attack and one you do not use. Be careful. This is probably a bad thing. At the time, the survivors were barricaded in the guest house. They didn't have food, but out of concern for their safety, they were at least prepared to go out without eating until the next day. However, in the end, 3 of them went out for food. That's right. In the end, 3 people went outside to get food. It's a pain, so I added some bread and say it. Kyrie didn't think that they needed food. Since going without food for about a day wouldn't kill them, she claimed that they should not leave the guest house. And yet, she herself suggested that they leave the guest house to get food. Isn't that a contradiction? I feel like she's fucking herself up right now. Does it matter how they left? The fact that they left and that Eva could have killed them still stands. Yes, a spectacular contradiction. A contradiction exists in Kyrie's pattern of behavior. That contradiction was created by me with magic. In other words, I controlled Kyrie using magic and made her say that to lure the sacrifices outside. Ridiculous. There's no way that kind of magic exists. It's a devil's proof, right? Just because you don't know about that magic doesn't deny its existence. And I don't bear the responsibility of acting out that magic for you. And yet, you have even less room to counter this argument. I wonder if it's okay to fight this way. Yes, it is truly a spectacular move. Battler, your response if you please. Does it really matter? Like, I feel like what Eva Beatrice is alluding to is that Kyrie intended on killing Hideyoshi and Eva, and maybe even Rudolph. But does it matter if Eva was still killing people? Plus, that would deny Eva Beatrice's own existence. She's fighting not for magic right now. That's a weird strategy she's taken. So, just what is this? She has placed a piece attacking Ushiromiyas Kyrie's pattern of behavior. As has already been explained, Kyrie's pattern of behavior had her saying that they should not go outside or head to the mansion in order to get food. And yet she herself took the initiative, taking the contradictory action of going out to get food. Unless you can explain this contradiction, she will use this violent move to claim that magic was the cause. Oh, so that's her strategy. Well, you can just claim something like Kyrie didn't want to leave the mansion, but she suggested it because she didn't want anyone else to go hungry, like Rudolph or Batware. Well, that's probably what Kyrie thought in the beginning. But she probably, thought through a few things midway, then changed her mind and decided that food really was necessary. It'd be bad if, when things got tough, we were so hungry that we had no energy, and, well... She is claiming that this change of heart was due to magic. In short, while it might be extremely difficult, you must explain the reason for Kyrie's change of heart. What are you saying? If you're talking about the inside of Kyrie's head, right? Can I also summon Kyrie's ghost and question her? Beato, can't you call Kyrie here or something? She cannot. That is a move permitted only to the witch side. Yeah, that would make sense, I guess. Sorry. Fuck! She was probably, thinking of us kids, and, on the whole, thought that food was necessary, and... You must present your claim through objective means. You'll need concrete proof that Kyrie changed her mind, and decide that food really was necessary for some specific reason. For example, if someone heard her say that, or if it was written down somewhere. Too bad, the reason she changed her mind was not passed on to anyone, nor was it written down. Therefore, you can only speculate as to what was inside Kyrie's mind. So it's impossible to explain. You don't have a single counter to my move. Well, then, can't Batward just say anything and ask Eva Beatrice to repeat it in red until he actually finds out the reason? It's your turn to resign now. Isn't it your turn to resign now, Battler? Even she does that shit. It is possible to hypothesize endlessly as to the reason behind her change of heart. And it is impossible to crush all of those endless possibilities. A detestably spectacular move. If Battler were to have a method of countering, it could probably only be that move. What move is that? Well, I wonder what kind of move it can be. I have the feeling that it was Milady's specialty, but I cannot remember. Hempel's Raven? Quit being stingy and tell me. Beatrice, no answers will be given to those who stop thinking for themselves. Think in your own way. Why don't you resign right now? And I'll corner you even more with red. Until the last instant before she died, Kyrie's behavior pattern of not going to get food equals not going to the mansion was maintained. And yet she took the initiative and headed towards the mansion. She was pushing a cart, ready to carry food. Why that contradiction? Because I controlled her with magic. This is proof that my magic exists and that I am a witch. Shut the hell up. Are you saying that she never even changed her mind? That the whole time until she died, Kyrie thought we don't need food and we won't go to the mansion. Then why did she step forward herself and say that they should go to get food and go to the mansion? Are you saying that Kyrie was being controlled with magic? That's stupid. How should I break through this magic? If only Kyrie were here and just told us the reason behind her change of heart. No, I've already been told in red that she never even changed her mind. What should I do? There's no move that the human side can counter with. Well, she didn't want to leave the guest house for food. If she wanted to kill someone, then hey! Wouldn't that work? The more I learn about this game, the more advantageous it will seem for the witch, right? Even if I lose in a lot of areas, if I can win in just one, that alone can display the existence of a witch. In other words, Batware has no way of denying witches other than a complete victory. How truly funny that even though you thought you could corner me and call me Eva, it's all been spun around by nothing more than the inside of your respected Kyrie's head, right? Just do it, resign. If only you just accept it. If only you just lose. Damn it. It's impossible for a human to prove. I can't do anything but guess at what the dead were thinking when they acted. Furthermore, I can't deny the magic based on conjecture alone. To break through it, I need objective proof as to why Kyrie had a change of heart. But damn it. It's been said in red that no proof exists as to why she changed her mind and wanted food. What should I do? Damn it. Damn it! Battler, is this your resignation? Yeah. Not going to get food equals not going to the mansion. Oh, yeah, it is Hempel's Raven. But then how should I understand Kyrie's thoughts? Which actually do contradict each other. You can't understand. It's impossible to understand and impossible to interpret. That darkness is all of the witch. Well, logically speaking, if not going to get food equals not going to the mansion, then going to get food equals going to the mansion, then not going to get food doesn't equal going to the mansion, and going to get food doesn't equal not going to the mansion. Right? So if not going to get food doesn't equal going to the mansion... Wait, going to get food... No, going to the mansion doesn't equal going to get food. No, I'm fucked. That darkness is all of the witch. Come on, it's useless to think, so quit, okay? You just can't deny witches. After all, I exist right here. I am the Golden Witch. I stole that name from the former witch over there. You can't deny that I am Beatrice. Damn it. You have no right to use that name. And yet, I can't think of a move to deny it. Batware can no longer counter this witch, who was laughing insanely in triumph. He didn't want to give up, but no move appeared. He ground his teeth, making fists with both hands. But even so, he couldn't think of a brilliant counterattack. Battler, your time limit is over, so will you resign? Hempel's Raven! Even though I don't remember exactly what that was. The human side has no move in response. It will reside... No. Wait. There is a counter. What did you say? Huh? What kind of move could possibly exist, predecessor? Won't you tell me what kind of move could deny this magic of Beatrice's? You can't. It's impossible. If the proposition that not going to get food equals not going to the mansion cannot be explained by itself, I will explain it with the contrapositive. In short, you can explain it with she still went to the mansion equals she had a goal other than food. Yeah, that's what I've been saying. This is less my specialty, Temple's Raven, than it is Battler's specialty, chessboard thinking. If it was impossible for Kyrie to have gone to the mansion with food as a goal, then we can only explain it by saying she had another reason that got her to go outside despite that. In other words, if we can prove that she had such a goal, we can defeat this magic. I see. So she didn't go to the mansion with food as a goal, but she had a different goal. And she said she wanted to go and get food in order to disguise her real goal. She did say, instead, I want to go get food from the mansion, she said, I want to go outside. It's true enough. It might be possible to find an explanation that way. But how? Teacher, reconstruct the scene of Kyrie's death. We cannot summon a ghost, but inspecting the corpse ought to be a right allowed to the human side. Yes, there is no problem. I shall reconstruct the scene where Ushiromiyas Kyrie died. Okay, so we're in the mansion hall. We cannot call Kyrie's ghost here, but by finding out what Kyrie left behind, we may be able to use that as a weapon. Fine, search as much as you want. There's no way you'll learn anything. I just said it in red a short while ago. Kyrie did not leave anything written down. No matter what you find, how could you possibly figure anything out? Doesn't have to be written. Could be typed. We may find nothing. But Battler is grinding his teeth, fighting to think of a move to break through you. This is all that I can do. Beatrice landed on her feet in the reconstructed hall, approached Kyrie's corpse and wandered around observing. I am completely clueless when it comes to fighting on the human side. We need to find evidence, right? Then what should I search for? The great lady Beatrice is getting down on her knees and crawling around. And she's even indecently searching the corpse? That look suits you. Say whatever you wish. I cannot do any more than this. I care not how I am despised. However, I cannot throw Battler away as he is fighting for my honor. Even if I must crawl on the ground and search through dead flesh, I must answer to that responsibility. Bathed in the witch's sneers, Beato searched through Kyrie's corpse. She fished through the pockets, taking what was inside out and laying it on the floor. Laid on the floor was a handkerchief, tissue, a key to her house, the stub of a boat ticket, a lighter, a cigarette butt, and a single 100-yen coin. No, never mind. I thought I saw something. There was no special suspicious object. Although Beato was down on all fours and being sneered at, that was all she could find. The thing that stands out the most is the cigarette butt, right? Because it was either Eva or Kyrie that always told Rudolph or Hideyoshi to stop smoking. Assuming it was Kyrie, who doesn't smoke, why would she have a cigarette butt in her pocket? There's probably a contradiction there. I think it's a cigarette butt. What's with that seedy-looking trash? How do you think you can break my magic with that stuff? Worthless, worthless. Are you a moron? How can you be so lame? And right after you cut in between us, talking so tough? How pathetic, how embarrassing. If only you just give up and die. The witch fell over laughing, lambasting Beato. Beato hung her head, trying to withstand the shame. Milady, are you finished with your inspection? Indeed. I will not find any more than this. Can you make any counter from this evidence? If not, then the human side must resign. Obviously you don't have any room to argue back. I am a witch. You cannot break through my magic. You're no longer anything but a former witch. A loser who isn't even allowed to take the name Beatrice anymore. Come on, pile up as much trash and rubbish as you like, and just try to break my magic. You can't, right? You can't, can you? And why's that? It's because I'm a witch. It's because you're just a loser without a name. Batler has to say something, right? There's gotta be something wrong there. Something should be here. I won't lose heart. I will not lose heart. No matter how much I am sneered at, Batler is fighting for my honor. So for the sake of his honor, I must not lose heart. As Beato held back tears at the words of humiliation she was being showered with, she tried to find if Kirei was holding something else, to find something that could save Batler from his plight. Searching earnestly, however, nothing more came up. Damn it. Please, Ushiromiyas Kirei, you must save your son from his plight. Please, after death, lend me power for his sake. However, Kirei's body did not answer. It was only natural that a corpse would remain silent. No dead person existed that would answer Beato, who had lost the endless magic. It's pointless, pointless, pointless! Toying with the dead is a privilege only for witches. For you, who is neither a witch nor even a human, no one exists who will lend a hand. You'll be alone for all eternity! You have no witch or human allies, and no one will save you! If that's frustrating, why don't you cry? If only you just apologize, saying, I'm sorry I'm so useless. Sorry, Batler. I couldn't help you at all. No, that's enough. Thanks, Beato. I won't waste your efforts. I don't need consoling. Just how could you possibly argue back with this pile of rubbish? Just how could you possibly strike back with this rubbish I scraped together while she sneered at me? In front of Beato, who was still crawling on all fours and hitting the pile of objects Kirei had left behind with her fist, Batler also crouched. And after patting her on the shoulder in thanks, he moved that hand to the ground, picked up the cigarette butt and held it up over his head. I knew it! Kirei's not a smoker! What are you trying to say with that trash? Kirei doesn't smoke. I knew it! But Kirei also had a lighter on her. Oh, that's right. True, she didn't have an actual box of cigarettes, but at a glance, it naturally looked as though Kirei had a smoking habit. Dad smoked, but Kirei didn't. But she did walk around with just a lighter to light Dad's cigarettes. Okay. Ha! So what? If the husband smoked, then even if the wife didn't, it wouldn't be strange for her to be holding a cigarette. Maybe she just picked up the cigarette butt of her husband who had bad smoking manners. What are you trying to say? What does this have to do with my magic? Nothing at all. I'll say more. This is a different brand of cigarette than what Dad smokes. Ooh. Sorry, Beato. Could you look in the pockets of Dad's corpse too? Indeed. You mean this? Checking the brand. The brand is different from the cigarette butt. The cigarette butt Kirei is holding is not from the same brand that Rudolph smokes. And so what? Maybe Kirei is just a good girl who likes things to be clean, so she couldn't leave a fallen cigarette butt alone and picked it up. I wouldn't, though. Beato, sorry, but one more time, please. Uncle Hideyoshi's pockets. In this family, only Dad and Hideyoshi smoke cigarettes. Oh. It has to match Hideyoshi's, then. It's here. Is this it? Beato found a cigarette box in Hideyoshi's pocket, took a single one out, and held it up. Checking the brand. We acknowledge that the cigarette butt is of the same brand that Hideyoshi smokes. And so what? How can you break my magic because you found Hideyoshi's cigarette butt in Kirei's pocket? That's right. This cigarette butt is a message from Kirei. No, the cigarette butt itself is the reason that Kirei left the guest house. Beato, thank you. If you hadn't found this, I would have given up here. Shatter? No. Virgilia! Reconstruct the situation. The guest house after it came to light that Aunt Rosa and Maria had been killed on the second twilight. Understood. Reconstructing now. After Rosa and Maria's deaths, the remaining survivors rechecked all of the doors and windows in the mansion. They constructed a barricade. They reconfirmed that their defenses were solid. There's nothing suspicious about that at all. What are you trying to say? Why are you bringing up the second twilight when we're talking about the fourth twilight and after? Because the reason for the fourth, fifth, and sixth twilight after all has to do with the second, right? Dad carried a portable cigarette butt holder with him. I'm finally starting to see why Kirei went out of her way to put a cigarette butt in her own pocket. It was because that cigarette butt meant something. That cigarette butt was itself a message left by Kirei for us. Then let's hear it. How do you plan to deny me with that single cigarette butt? how did they find that cigarette butt somewhere and somehow suspect Hideyoshi and Eva? Like, did they find it near Rosa and Maria? As we've heard, after the second twilight, an inspection was done of all the rooms in the guest house. At that time, Kyrie found something that shouldn't exist in a place where it shouldn't be. Oh, they inspected the guest house. Something that shouldn't exist? What do you mean by that? Oh, fuck! Hideyoshi was smoking a cigarette in the guest room. Which, if Eva was sick, that's not something that he would do. I see. Okay. It's this cigarette butt. This was set in the ashtray of the guest room that Uncle Hideyoshi was in. What? What's wrong with there being a cigarette butt in an ashtray? Are you sure there isn't something wrong with your head? Aunt Eva hated smoking. There's no way there'd be a cigarette butt there while Aunt Eva was sick and sleeping. However, there was a cigarette butt in the ashtray. When she saw that, Kyrie noticed immediately. Uncle Hideyoshi was lying. She realized that Aunt Eva hadn't really been sleeping, and that she'd snuck out of the room. Repeat it. This cigarette butt was crushed out in the ashtray of the room where Aunt Eva and Uncle Hideyoshi were resting. I refused! I finally got it. Thank you, Beato. Was I of some use? Yeah, you were. Tear it. We'll tear the mask off of the fake witch. From that cigarette butt, Kyrie realized that Hideyoshi was creating an alibi for Eva's sake. Hideyoshi had been tasked with watching over the room to create an alibi, and during that time he was unable to withstand the tension and smoked. Then Kyrie had confessed that to Rudolph. She confessed that there was a good chance Eva was the culprit and Hideyoshi was an accomplice. Next, Kyrie proposed that they go to get food. She then asked Uncle Hideyoshi to lend a hand. This could only mean one thing. Kyrie planned to isolate Uncle Hideyoshi and question him about the truth. Your Hempel's raven is valid. Unless the witch side counters this move, the existence of the magic that supposedly controlled Kyrie has been denied. What did you say? I deny it anyway. I deny it. It wasn't me. No! It wasn't Ushiromiyas Eva. Eva was sleeping in her room. Then try saying it. Yeah, you can't say it. You can't say it this time either. Repeat it. At that time, Ushiromiyas Eva did not take a step outside her room. The hell is that? I'm the one who was attacking, right? Why am I the one being attacked now? When did offense and defense get reversed? I'm the one questioning you, right? The witch, me. So why? Again, repeat it. Ushiromiyas Eva did not leave the room. There's no way you can say it. It's checkmate! Oh, fuck. Does the witch side have a move in response? There cannot be one. There's no truth that can be accepted from a false witch dressed up with truths and falsehoods. You aren't qualified to call yourself a real witch. You aren't the Golden Witch. You're a human. Ushiromiyas Eva? I mean, Ushiromiyas Eva! Oh, shit. Yeah! The witch howled. Her entire body was burned with the tremendous heat that denied her own magic and existence, and she let out a howl like a dragon. Damn. Her body flickered repeatedly, flashing as though Eva's figure and the witch's figure overlapped. Huh. It's gonna turn back, isn't it? Huh? However, that yell was sucked into the flicker, making a return to the original form of the cruel witch. Okay, so what now? Ah, fuck. Sure. If you want to call me Ushiromiyas Eva, then go ahead and do that. That's right, I actually can't repulse all moves related to Ushiromiyas Eva being the culprit. I may have been dragged down from the position of Golden Witch, and you might call me Ushiromiyas Eva now. But you know what? That by itself doesn't mean that witches and magic have been denied. I'll teach you starting now. I'll teach you that I'm not Ushiromiyas Eva, nor a human, but a real witch. Take a look at this red truth. Uh-oh. When the witch clapped her hands, time advanced in the world of the game board. It's George, isn't it? Oh. Oh shit. This is different. Battler and Eva dashed to the front of the parlor, calling out Jessica's name. They were searching for Jessica because they had gone to the servant room, found Nanjo's corpse, and didn't know where Jessica was. So, what's your point? What are you trying to say? You couldn't be... Oh no. Beato went pale. In other words, the move the evil witch was about to make was bad enough to make even Beato go pale. This time, I'll give you a fatal move that you won't be able to talk yourself out of. Now I'll make this move against all humans who support you. Listen carefully to my move. Stop it! That move is... Beato, stay back. I'll take it. Come on, you fake witch. Fuck's going on? After Jessica was injured, Eva was constantly under Batware's supervision. Batware is neither the culprit nor an accomplice. By this, we can establish a perfect alibi for Eva. What? Ah. So basically she's saying Eva didn't kill Nanjo. Then Jessica did. I'll seal you, and humans as well, in a red barrier that most certainly cannot be escaped from. Farewell, lowly humans. Sleep for all eternity in an absolute closed room of magic with no exits. Come on, listen carefully. Listen to the red truth. There are no more than 18 humans on this island. What's with the spider web? Yeah, there's no more than 18. Throw away your foolish thoughts of mysterious people hiding and committing crimes. But if I say it that way, you might also suspect animal culprits. I couldn't stand to hear some irrational theory about how an orangutan trained to commit murder wouldn't count as a human. So I'll change it like this. Oh fuck. No life forms other than humans have any connection to this game. That's how it is. Next, I'll explain the situation of all 18 people who exist on this island. What's with the fucking web? Kinzo is dead. Kraus is dead. Natsuhi is dead. Hideyoshi is dead. George is dead. Rudolph is dead. Kyrie is dead. Rosa is dead. Maria is dead. Genji is dead. Shannon is dead. Cannon is dead. Goda is dead. Kumasawa is dead. Nanjo is dead. Those 15 are all dead. And... Batware is alive. Eva is alive. Jessica is alive. That's everyone. All 18 of them. Motherfucker, what's with the web? Which means that when the last victim, Nanjo, died, only 3 people. Batware, Eva, and Jessica were alive, right? What did you say? Damn it, you don't mean... What's with the web? Eva was with you the whole time. So committing a crime was impossible for her. Of course, Batware isn't the culprit. He wasn't forging an alibi for her, and he took the possibility that she was the culprit into account, watching over her actions carefully. No chance existed for her to do anything suspicious. In short, at the time of the crime, only Nanjo and Jessica were in the servant room. She's really trigger happy. And I know what you're thinking. Your next move will be this, right? There's also a chance that Jessica is the culprit. But too bad, I'll slice it up in red before you try. Ushiromiyas Jessica has not committed murder. God damn it. There goes my entire theory about there being 2 culprits, 1 Jessica, and 1 Eva. So Jessica did not commit murder ever. Meaning she did not kill the first 6, and she did not kill Nanjo, which are the only 2 that Eva could not have killed. Fuck. Nanjo then. Nanjo committed suicide. She was not involved with Nanjo's murder. Her eyes were completely covered. It'd be impossible for her to carry out a murder like that. And here's a bonus. Neither Eva nor Batware killed Nanjo, nor were they involved. Wait a second. That doesn't make sense. There were only 3 humans, then a murder occurs, and none of those 3 were involved? That's insane. This fucking web shit. There's so much web. I'll state it clearly. The culprit who killed Nanjo was neither Batware nor Eva nor Jessica. In other words, it wasn't one of the survivors. Get it? Then what if the ones that were already dead died after Nanjo? Like, maybe George wasn't really dead, and he killed Nanjo, and then he killed himself back in the parlor, I guess. And Eva and George were working together. There. Eva's theory works. No, that's right. What about multiple personalities? What? Just like how you were originally another personality of Aunt Eva's, let's say Jessica had another witch-like personality, which took the name of someone other than Jessica and killed Dr. Nanjo. Moron. I've already said it in red. Jessica's eyes were completely covered and murder was impossible for her. No matter what kind of personality she was possessed by, murder could not be carried out with her body. The murder will be satisfied if I say it this way. No actions caused by Jessica's body had any relation to or influence on the murder of Nanjo. This also applies to Battler and Eva. In other words, no matter how much you try to struggle and interpret it, neither Jessica nor Battler nor Eva is the culprit who killed Nanjo. You've got to be kidding me! I mean, everyone else is definitely dead, right? Then all that's left is the Dr. Nanjo suicide theory, right? And the trap theory. The culprit was already dead, but a trap that they had already prepared went off. Nanjo's death was a homicide. Of course, it was with a direct method of murder, not a trap. A weapon was readied and he was killed with it from point-blank range in front of him. The culprit appeared openly before Nanjo's eyes, and as they both looked at each other's faces, the culprit killed him. George. It was George. George, Eva, and Hideyoshi were working together. George killed the first 6. Eva killed everyone else except for Hideyoshi and Nanjo. George killed Nanjo. Hideyoshi could have been killed by Eva, but was more than likely killed by Kyrie or Rudolph. But wait, there are only 3 survivors. You said in red that everyone else is dead, and you basically confirmed the life or death status of all 18 people. Furthermore, the existence of a 19th person has already been denied in red. In other words, no one can exist except the 3 survivors. And yet a 4th person other than those 3 appeared before Dr. Nanjo. How could a person other than us appear and murder Dr. Nanjo and no 19th person exists? Insane. You're lying. You're lying with the red. The red only tells the truth. Isn't doubting that the same as betraying the honor of that witch who's behind you, shriveling up in fear of me and hiding behind your back? Damn it. This fucking web shit, what is this supposed to, like, he's tangled or something? Right now, I'll state it clearly. The one who appeared in front of Nanjo was me, a witch. Say it in red. The golden witch who can't be explained away with the 18 humans. Virgilia, Ronove. Isn't there a contradiction in this situation? Is she really telling the truth with red? Yes, her red truth is valid. What an elaborate and precise cornering. How should I make a move against her? Virgilia, aren't there any moves? I cannot think of anything. Literally, the death order is not what we think. Eva lied about George being dead. Nanjo lied about George being dead. George killed Nanjo. Boom. And you, Ronove? My apologies. However, in these last 1,000 years, I've never seen such an elaborately beautiful game board layout. I hate to admit it, but it's beautiful. What a beautiful checkmate made in red. The witch's teacher and the demon butler were both stunned, and an expression of ecstasy rose to their faces. God, this is fucking crazy. Forget surrendering. They were impressed at this perfect checkmate, which simply had to be admired. When people accept defeat from the bottom of their hearts, it gives rise to neither regrets nor humiliation. Nothing is born except feelings of respect. I no longer knew what was what anymore. There were absolutely no weak points in her red. She had said in red that all of the 15 people had died. She had said in red that no people existed other than the 18. In other words, no more than 3 people, me, Jessica, and Aunt Eva, existed. And even though none of those 3 people were the culprit, Dr. Nanjo was killed. And without a doubt, Dr. Nanjo's death was a homicide. He was murdered by that person openly from in front of him. Is he saying that that person is a witch? No, it's fucking George. The culprit who killed Nanjo was not an animal or anything of the sort. That has already been dealt with in red, right? Thing is, it can't be the first 8 who died, because their deaths were all proclaimed in red at, shortly after they died, before George's death. Meaning, Hideyoshi, George, Rudolph, Kyrie, Kraus, or Natsuhi could have killed Nanjo, since at the time of death, they weren't proclaimed dead in red. Everything other than humans has been completely removed from consideration. Even things like robots don't work. Absolutely no factors other than humans participate in this game board. Hold on. She just killed herself, didn't she? She just destroyed herself. Fucking idiot. Therefore, I can also say this. The one who killed Nanjo was definitely a human. She fucked herself. A human with her feet on the ground held up a weapon and killed with it, right before his eyes. However, the human may have been able to use magic. In other words, it was a witch. In other words, it was me, the golden witch Beatrice. She just fucked herself. Even as Battler ground his teeth, his knees hit the floor with a thunk. His soul still refused to surrender. However, his knees has already started to accept surrender. She just killed herself, didn't she? Oh, did you kneel? That's right, you're already starting to understand. The Golden Witch does exist. And that Golden Witch Beatrice is me. Come on, praise me. Now, praise the resurrection of a true witch. Now, praise the resurrection of the Golden Witch Beatrice. On the 9th twilight, the witch shall revive and none shall be left alive. She literally killed herself, though. Battler's fine. She literally said it was a human. Witches aren't humans. Damn it. I don't understand. After being so thoroughly immobilized by the red, I don't have a crew anymore. Battler, don't lose heart. You and I promised that we would fight each other again, right? Will you surrender here? Will you disappear in a place like this before fighting with me again? I don't want to break that promise. However, I can't think of any move to deny her. She already denied herself. In the first place, this isn't even a puzzle. Nothing exists outside of the suspects, and all of the suspects are innocent. I was told that they were innocent in red, right? And that it was a real homicide, and that the culprit was human, and that they did appear before Dr. Nanjo's eyes and kill him. I give up. There's nothing I can do. Please, Battler, don't give up. Don't lose heart. If you stop thinking, it automatically becomes your loss. I'm begging you, don't lose heart. I'm also cheering you on, so don't lose. I can't think of anything anymore. I find myself thinking she's got to be a witch who must have done it with magic, which makes all thinking pointless. It's useless. My head hurts and my brain's tired. I'm starting to think that thinking's pointless, so I should just stop. Battler, listen. In the game of chess, both sides do all they can to make the other lose, so a single game takes a long period of time. However, if one side throws away victory from the beginning and makes moves harmful to themselves, the game can end in the blink of an eye. That is called a fool's mate. She's implying that Eva just killed herself. A fool's mate is, simply put, a strange way of playing chess, in which the fastest methods of losing are considered. Opening the area in front of your own king and inviting the opponent's queen in. Even though the average game time in chess is several hours, a game can be resolved in a scant 4 moves. In other words, if both sides try to win in a fight, they are compelled to take a painfully long period of time. But if one side decides to lose, the game can be ended far too easily at any time. When the human side stops thinking, it hands the problem before its eyes over to the witch. And even an apple falling from a tree can be immediately resolved as the work of magic. It is the same for the witch's side. Witches use the red truth. By using that, they can explain the true form of magic with humans and immediately lose. You don't have to tell me that. You're telling me to not stop thinking, right? However, how should I counterattack that person's perfect bright red move? For me, for humans, it's no longer possible. Is it impossible? Is it really impossible for you, Battler? Please, don't lose heart. Beatrice would know a lot about not losing heart. Sorry, I've reached my limit. Battler scratched at the floor, crying heavily. Beata watched that with a distressed face. Then she stood up and spoke to the witch. I will make a move as a counter to yours. Huh? I wonder just how you plan to cut up this perfect checkmate. How can this checkmate, one totally impossible for humans to break, be defeated by the likes of you? Beatrice, you don't mean to... Indeed. If a human cannot make a move, I will assault you with a move I can use precisely because I am a witch. A move you can use because you're a witch? What are you planning to do? I will use the red to deny witches. Beatrice! Milady! The teacher and the butler were both startled. I also immediately understood what it meant. To use the red that only witches could use. To use the red to deny witches. It was like using her own sword to slit her own throat. What? Hey, what are you saying? Deny witches with red? Quit talking like an idiot. If you do that, you won't get away unscathed either. You are not a witch, and I am not a witch either. The road to becoming a true witch is difficult. I have much, much farther to go. Very well then, right here, right now, there have never been any witches in the first place. I will strip this deception away myself. Are both of us real, obvious witches? Being able to use red is itself proof of witches. I don't know what the definition of a witch is to you, but if you think that you alone will be able to get away unscathed, then... How could I make such a mistake? I care not. What did you say? I never did manage to become a witch. I've done nothing more than finally begin walking down the road to becoming a true witch. If what I am right now is a witch, then I'm a false witch like you, one who is merely drunk on power. Rather than existing in that shabby form, I shall erase this form of mine along with you, without any regrets. Are you insane? Stop it! I still want to be a witch! I hate being human! Witch, please return to your seat. Please receive the human side's counter from your seat. What are you doing? Let go of me! Don't let that woman use the red! Make her stop! Let go! This is crazy. I thought it would have been a lot more epic if it's just like she said, when Eva Beatrice said a human killed Nanjo, she just disintegrates right there because that denies herself. As the witch stood from her seat and tried to spring upon Beato, Ronove pressed down on both of her shoulders, forcing her to back into her seat. And even after that, he didn't remove his hands from those shoulders. Denying witches was the same thing as denying magic. That included demons such as Ronove. However, instead of running away, Ronove chose to act as the facilitator for the game, and to carry out that duty for his master's sake. Beatrice, you have no regrets, right? That's my line. Sorry, teacher. Even though you taught me so much about fun magic, and magic that brings happiness, I wasn't able to use it well at all, so I'll study from square one and start over again. I'm truly sorry that you had to suffer for your stupid disciple's misconduct. I had a good disciple in the very end. Go, do what you believe in. I don't have a clue what you guys are talking about. But I do understand one thing, and I can say this. Beato, I don't know what you're trying to do, but stop trying to do it. You have no moves, but I have one. He literally has the fucking George theory, do that! If we let that move get away, she will be revived as a witch in the truest sense, and this time she will control the whole island. All nightmares will be hers to do with as she pleases, and this island will fall into the deepest hell of the evil witch's repeating delusions for all eternity. Can you permit that? Don't you care if your dear relatives are toyed with for all eternity in that witch's nightmare? Still, you shouldn't have to sacrifice yourself. This is a game between me and her. You shouldn't have to make your move and sacrifice yourself. I'll think of something. I'll surely think of a miraculous move. So don't rush into it. Ah, damn it! I'll definitely think of one, so don't rush into it! This game is cruel. The time limit for your consideration has already run out. I am now the only one who can do it. Calm yourself, Battler. I'll defeat her. I'll defeat that cruel witch with my own hands. Wait, Beato, stop it. Quit it. There's absolutely no need for you to sacrifice yourself. Weren't you fighting to deny me? What a strange person. Let that child do as she likes, and please watch her until the end. What? Battler, there's only one thing I ask. Would you cover your ears? My ears? Why? Starting now, I will deny witches in red. I will slice up the game board that she has laid out with her red. By doing that, I will probably lose my form as a witch as well. If you also hear the red truth I speak, you will understand my true form. If you alone cover your ears, that truth will not change at all. However, even so, I want you alone to cover your ears. I at least want to be a witch in your eyes. Please. Beatrice, there are no problems on the witch side. Please, your move. Let go! I won't let you get away with this either, okay? She's insane. Do you plan on dying and taking us all with you? Stop it. Don't deny it. Stop it! Get fucked, bitch. How unsightly for a golden witch. Okay, are you ready? I will remove your check in Battler's stead. What happened on the chessboard where 15 died and only 3 remain? Starting now, I will expose it in red. With that red truth, I will pierce and kill both fake witches. Beato turned around and smiled at Battler. Most likely, no one would believe that the witch who had gone to the limits of cruelty would try to leave a smile as the last expression she showed Battler. And that smile signified her last wish that she wanted him to cover his ears. Denying witches in red was the same as knowing her shabby form. Battler put both of his hands against his ears. To protect her final bit of honor as a witch, he put his hands against his ears, rejecting the truth. and he howled, so that not even a bit of what she was saying would slip into his ears. After that was a world where Batware could hear nothing. Beato was saying something in red. Even the evil witch covered her ears at those bitter contents. That was the red truth. Words of power, words that denied her own existence. Unique words that only witches could use, which denied witches. Beato spoke. With the red truth, she cut up the bright red game board that the witch had released. Oh shit. She explained difficult problems that could not be solved by humans, with moves that could only be solved by witches, and began cornering the witch. The truth that Batware was not permitted to hear. If Batware had broken his promise and sneakily eavesdropped, in an instant, Batware would probably have been able to become the victor in his game with Beato. He would probably have understood all the riddles on the island, all of the magic and tricks, closed room spells, curses, legends, and this entire tale of anger and sadness. However, Battler would only learn what that was when he reached the truth by himself. Yes, from the beginning, Beatrice had wished that Battler would reach that truth by himself. It was something one shouldn't reach by being told it. It was a truth that Battler would have to drag himself to by his own power. A brilliant light gathered with Beato and the evil witch at the center and grew gradually stronger. It was the power of truth. Oh fuck. Its heat and brilliance like the sun shone on all the falsehoods that hid in the darkness, trying to deceive and burnt them to nothing. Ah! Why? Why can you die? Why can you throw away your life when you have such incredible power? You who hold the power to control gold, magic, and everything at will. Why can you so readily throw that away? Learn that even with a mountain of gold, even with magic to split the sea, there are some things you can never obtain. Come, show yourself. Show your true form, Ushiromiyas Eva. Oh fuck. When the sun exploded and blew everything away, Eva could be seen there holding a gun. You're the culprit, Aunt Eva. Took you long enough to notice, Battler. Oh, big shit. Did she just kill Battler? They just told us Eva's the culprit. Like, I thought they wouldn't, like, even imply that, but... Shit. Without any hesitation or mercy, Eva raised her gun and pulled the trigger. As an explosive sound rang out, Battler's heart was shot through and he fell to the floor. After going into convulsions for a short time, with blood dripping from his mouth, Battler died. Christ, gotta read that shit. Hi, Battler. Shot to death by Ushiromiyas Eva inside the mansion. The weapon was a Winchester from Kinzo's collection. Jessica had lost her eyesight, alone with Battler. Wolves and sheep puzzle. Oh. That's the stuff Rosa was talking about, and Maria in the second game, right? So that would mean... Jessica was an accomplice? Huh? Fuck it, I don't care. Let's continue. But in his last moments, he realized without a doubt that she was a murderer, and not just for killing him. There have been many murders, and I don't have a clue how they were carried out. However, while my ears were covered, Beato exposed all of them with the red, blasting away all magic. In other words, even though I didn't understand it, was that nothing more or less than proof that magic can all be explained with humans? Beato made me cover my ears, so I myself don't know the whole truth. However, now that it's been denied in red, I can see one fact which is extremely unfair for us, that it is possible to deny all magic. So in other words, no, I must not think of that. If I do, then the time I spent covered my ears would be made pointless. If I'm going to regret, I can only regret my own actions. If at that time I'd thought of some move to spin things around and counter the witch's final move, there would have been no need for Beato to sacrifice herself. It was my own worthlessness that brought about this conclusion.